Welcome to the Beyond Iconic podcast, where we dive into the vast world of art iconography through somewhat casual commentary. We're your hosts, Naja
and Crystal, two artsy friends looking beyond the icons just for the hell of it.
Yas.
Yay!
Yay! We are here for May!
Yay! May the 4th be with you. May all the babies be birthed in May, because wow, we love May here.
May.
The season of the Taurus babies. Yes.
Yes. Taurus season, guys. Yes. And of course, Crystal is the honorary Taurus of today's show.
Yes. Can you not tell?
The birthday girl.
Indulge in all of your worldly things. A lot of my coworkers have been saying like, yeah, I just went on a shopping spree and I'm blaming it on the season of the Taurus. And I was like, yes, buy all the things.
Yes, buy all the things. Indulge.
Yes, I just went on a spree for some birthday supplies because I am planning a birthday photo shoot with all my friends.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be so fun.
It is. I got bubbles, we got some picnic blankets, and it's just going to be chill. I told them to bring their yoga mats and maybe we can all just like lay down and absorb the earth.
Yes, just have a zen moment.
Yes. Which we all need, always.
Of course, definitely. Can't go without it.
Yes. How have you been, though?
Okay, well, I've been pretty great. Colorado was amazing, and other than that, I've just been working.
Yep, of course.
And preparing for all the family endeavors. There's gonna be a lot of family things happening next week, so that I'm excited for. And of course, I'm excited for today's episode. We have lots of art to talk about.
And it's all going to be about perfection and beauty.
Yes.
What is your opinion about perfection and beauty?
I have a lot of opinions about...
I have opinions.
I have a lot of opinions. I have them. About beauty, because beauty is, of course, in the eye of the beholder. Oh, yes. But, you know, the world we live in now, we are kind of bombarded with a Eurocentric version of what beauty should be.
Yes.
And I say, F that, of course, because we are not white women.
Yes.
I think beauty comes in all shapes, sizes, forms, and I think the idea of beauty is just innate. You know, even though there might be some social constructs around beauty, I think we can all agree that like nature in general is like the embodiment of beauty. You know, that's like actual pure beauty. You can't deny the beauty, and also nature is innately perfect as well. And you know, that I love. You know, I'm an earth bitch. We are earth bitches over here. So
Who? Me. I'm that.
So, as for perfectionism, I have like a love-hate relationship with perfectionism and or just perfection in general. Yes. Because I think we both tend to strive for perfection when it comes to our jobs, our way of life. It's like we try so hard to attain perfection, and I think it manifests a lot within our work, especially because we just want whatever it is that we are creating, we want it to be the best that it can be in our eyes as we see it. So but if you try too hard to achieve perfection, you can run yourself wild and crazy, because ultimately perfection is like an illusion.
100% agree with that.
Yes.
For me, see, you were on like the wonderful side of beauty where it's like, yes, nature and all of that. In my head, I was like, we live in this social media run world where there's just this unobtainable beauty that people put a show on social media, namely
Yes.
Instagram, where there's these beauty standards that are really fake because Photoshop is a thing.
Yes.
Angles, people hitting those angles. If you're not you can hit these angles that make
And
it seem.
Yes.
You know exactly
And
what I mean because
I'm
I do
a product
it too.
of this. We are both products of this angle usage.
The angle
But, you know.
usage, the filters, all these things just to look beautiful and perfect when in reality you're beautiful and perfect just the way you are. There's beauty and imperfection. There is beauty or there's a saying, there's like everyone is imperfect, but you're going to be perfect for somebody, or like there's a perfect somebody for you out there. Not that you need to be with somebody, but like I love that saying because you don't need to be perfect to be happy.
Exactly.
I'm 100% with you on like I've always felt this pressure to be perfect my whole life. As an Asian person, we hold ourselves to this higher standard because there's a stereotype where like, oh, you have to get an A+, you have to get S rank, you have to be exceptional in everything you do to keep up with the other Asians because we are on another level sometimes, especially in the academic realm. And since I wasn't an academic person, my perfectionism, it presents itself when I'm critiquing art and design. So even though I'm like, oh, I'm not like super duper into academics, my perfectionism is like, this detail is not perfect. I need to fix it. I need to do this really quick, really fast, efficiently, and I need to do it now because if I don't, I'm a failure because this is what I chose. And it's just like so much pressure. And it feels so good sometimes to be this idea of perfect that I have for myself. But it also just is so painful mentally and so stressful at times that I'm feeling myself.
Yes, it's a lot of pressure.
Yes, it's a lot of pressure. And I'm feeling myself trying to let go of that idea of like what perfection and beauty used to mean to me, because I feel like I need to create a more ideal version of me where I'm just happy with myself and that my imperfections are beautiful and that, you know, it's okay to be chill sometimes. It's okay to be happy with where I am in my life because I've come so far. And people could only dream to have like what we have in our lives, to be pursuing our goals and our professions in the artistic and creative world. Like that's more than enough, and we should be happy. Of course, we are gonna, you know, keep striving, but we can also be okay with the perfection and beauty of what our lives are right now in this moment.
Right. Everything is as it should be and is for a reason. Therefore, it is perfect in itself. Yes. Oh, I love that. I'm on the same journey of finding what, like making a better relationship with perfection and moderation, you know, because you can't make everything perfect. Everything can't be perfect. It's just impossible. So, but you know, try not to stress about perfection. It's not worth it because, you know, imperfection is guaranteed in, you know, in life. So but other than that, that's just how we feel about that. Perfection and beauty, it's a blessings and curses. There's good pros and cons to both.
Yes. And I was just thinking while you were saying that, you remember Wabi Sabi? You remember Wabi Sabi?
Yes, I was gonna say Wabi Sabi, and look, it's Asian Persuasion Month, okay?
It's so perfect.
So we're on that Wabi Sabi energy, even though the theme of this month is perfection. Yes.
And I don't know, like, look though, Wabi Sabi, For those of you who do not know, wabi-sabi, if I remember correctly, is this belief system of celebrating imperfections, and seeing the beauty in those imperfections. So, for example, there is like a specific ceramic technique where if a vase cracks, they'll put it back together, but the cracks will be filled in with gold because that's like something that's really precious. That imperfection can't happen again exactly the same way because it's cracked in this specific way. So they fill it in with gold because that's special and that's really wonderful and something to celebrate. Oh
my gosh, that's so poetic.
Yeah, I know. The beauty of spontaneity should be celebrated. Yes. So embrace your wabi-sabi. Alrighty, guys. It's time to get into the meat of the pod.
The meat
of the pod. This month,
we're carnivores up in this piece.
Yes, we are. Love meat. As you guys know, this is the month with the theme of beauty and perfection. And I have chosen the egg.
Yes, the egg has returned.
The egg has returned from Dolly. How can the egg be a symbol of perfection, you might be asking yourselves? Well, if you don't think the egg is a symbol of perfection, let me enlighten you and fill you in on why the egg is so freaking perfect and a great example, a great symbol for perfection. So, the egg as a symbol of perfection does not go back historically. Really, it goes back to when me and Naja were in college. We were in a design course, and the project was to study between two designers from different spectrums of design, namely Raymond Loewy. I'm not going to say these names right, I'm so sorry, but Raymond Loewy and Kareem Rashid. Raymond Loewy, also known as the father of industrial design, his main focus was to make everything streamlined. His vision of beauty and perfection was through things that were highly functional forms. Some of his greatest designs of note is the Exxon logo, Shell's logo, and the iconic Coca-Cola bottle. Among the most beautiful and perfect forms to him was the egg. In his words, there is one perfect example of functional streamlining. It is the egg. It is perfect in shape. The shell is paper thin, yet it can safely withstand the pressure of nearly 20 pounds if gently applied, and it is perfectly streamlined. In fact, any other shape, a cube for instance, or a pyramid, would make the life of a hen intolerable. Yes.
I can imagine.
I know. He giggled at his own joke the video I was watching too. I was like, yes, that's a good one.
Yes.
With raving commentary like that on the egg and how perfect it is, how could I not indulge in the perfection that is the egg in this month's icon? Every little bit of the egg has no fault whatsoever. It is perfect. On top of his reasoning, the outer shell is the purest color, void of imperfection, white. In a culinary sense, they are just perfect. Eggs by themselves can be fried or poached. Naja is smiling at me like, yes, this is amazing.
It's just the fact that you're just like, the egg is perfect.
I am passionate about eggs. The egg by itself can be fried or poached. Delicious. If you accidentally break that yolk trying to fry or poach it, no problem. You can eat the eggs scrambled. Still amazing. The whites by itself can be made into meringue or soufflés, or even tempera paint, which is really important in art history. The yolk you can turn into cookies and custards, Once you're done making the eggs, you might be thinking, oh my god, I still got these paper thin shells, which are rich in calcium. They can be A.
Yes.
We use them. You can crush that up and make it into a calcium supplement for multitudes of uses. You could sprinkle it on your plants, make them grow better. You could put it in your coffee, make your coffee less bitter. You can give it to your dog.
Wow, I didn't know that.
It's good for your health. It's good for their health, and you could give it to yourself too. I've read, but do it safely. Don't just like go crushing up eggshells and start eating them. Out of
literally. Okay, yes. Do your research on that.
Maybe talk to your healthcare provider or vet if you try to give it to yourself or dogs. But plants, go ahead and sprinkle it on those plants. It'll help them grow. If it's around Easter time, which it was last month, you could turn them into a beautiful Easter egg and so much more. You might be wondering now, what art could I pick with an egg in it? Surprisingly, there is a lot to choose from, but since we're emphasizing on Asian artists, I couldn't do, the kooky craziness of the concert in the egg by I'm gonna take a guess on this one. Gillis Panhandle.
Panhandle.
Who was greatly inspired by the insanity of Hieronymus Bosch. Is that how you name it? Bosch?
Oh, Hieronymus Bosch. Yes, the absolute surrealist king.
Hieronymus Bosch's iconic The Garden of Earthly Delights.
Yes.
I couldn't do that.
That is amazing.
Couldn't do Salvador Dali. There's a plethora of historical Western content that touches on the egg. Like Easter eggs, as I mentioned, Fabergé eggs. Those are cool. Eggs are also a powerful symbol for fertility in women and feminism. Also really cool. Which I may need to revisit next year or something, because at this point, I am the egg's #1 fan. No.
We stand the egg.
We are not going to touch on these incredible works just yet. Instead, my brain has decided to do the iconic symbol within the egg, Gudetama. Oh, Gudetama. I love this boy. He is so cute.
He is an absolute icon.
He is.
He is an icon, and he's also an icon.
Yes, and I may or may not refer to him as a him as well. It is actually, from what I can tell, it is non-binary. But if I say him, it's because I want to treat it like a son, like a little baby boy, and I want to care for it.
Yes, if you're familiar with meme culture, we refer to cute little dudes as boys because they're just like little sons, We just I don't know why we do that. I don't know why that's like a meme culture thing, but it's just like it is what it is.
I love the saying that's like, "Don't talk to me or my son." And
exactly, I think that's where that comes from too. That's exactly where that comes from, I think.
I have unintentionally, by the way, I am wearing a yellow dress. Maybe I'm channeling Gudetama right now.
Yes, you are.
Yes, I'm an egg. Okay.
I'm an egg.
Just look at him. You will see pure perfection when you see this cute, adorable icon. And while this character is not in the realm of fine art, or is he? He is.
I could argue that he is.
He is a part of design and pop culture and shows off how a perfect character can take the world by storm. I love this baby boy.
He's so cute.
Gudetama translates roughly to lazy egg. Gude is used to invoke the impression of something that is lazy or lacks energy. And tama comes from the word of egg in Japanese, which is tamago. Gudetama was created by Sanrio, whose success is accomplished through designing incredibly adorable characters and really milking the love of its fans from every way possible, whether that be through animations, wallpaper, jackets, drinks, entire cafe experiences. They will just distribute in every way possible so that you can enjoy their characters to the fullest. And one of their most iconic symbols that they are known for is Hello Kitty, which was a huge part of my childhood. My mom freaking loved Hello Kitty. I had plushies of it.
Yeah, same. And I would watch like the little shorts and the show that it had. Like, I loved that Hello Kitty show so much.
I had computer games when you still had to put the games from the CDs and download them.
Yes! Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a throwback right there.
That's a throwback. They had Hello Kitty McDonald's toys, which is
yes, I remember that.
a testament to like how popular it was to get into the Western world to be a McDonald's toy.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's like peak when you know you've made it when McDonald's makes a toy from your franchise.
Yes, 100%. Gudetama is part of the kawaii culture from Japan. Kawaii is often used to refer to cute things and is an aesthetic that refers to cute, childlike, and pretty things that make your heart flutter. Which is slightly cringy to say, but there's really no other way to describe it. Some theories to why kawaii was developed was due to them needing to recover from World War II. The Japanese were very vulnerable, and they really needed those good kawaii vibes to lift up their spirit and also their economic growth. They used the cult of cuteness advantage and made the Japanese more approachable and wealthy in doing so. Gudetama, as you will see in his animated series, his personality is very melancholic and pessimistic. If you look at the first episode of Gudetama on YouTube, you will see a man cracking an egg into his rice bowl. The man zooms in and looks at his egg, and upon closer inspection, there's Gudetama, who looks as if he had just awoken from a nap. Gudetama says, "Ugh, I have no energy." To which the man replies, "What in the world are you?" Because he was like, "I'm about to eat this egg, and this little dude's on my rice bowl."
Yes.
It then transitions into him cracking an egg, and Gudetama is hanging from the shells, suspended in the white, saying, "Leave me alone!" And he's like, his knees are in his arms, and he starts swinging back and forth as the guy says, "I can't, I need to know." Which is like, I need to know what you are because you were in my rice earlier and like, I was just trying to eat. So.
Explain yourself.
Explain yourself. This introverted, lazy personality really grasped the world, and is its main selling point is how relatable he is. So,
yes.
Based on this and your experience with Gudetama, which I feel like you might have or may not have, why do you think Gudetama is popular?
I think it's the same reason why we find dark humor about like why am I even alive, or like, you know, what is even the point of anything, like that sort of crude humor where it's like I'm pessimistic but also marrying that with like cuteness is like how could anyone not love that?
I know.
Especially like angsty teens who are like into anime and then they see this cute little guy and he's cute but like he's like self-loathing. So it's like relatable.
Yes. I just love his little face.
Yes, he's so cute. It's like such a simple design too. Like you could do so much with it. It's so simple. And I think he reminds me of like the whole Pusheen craze that happened. Like I remember seeing Pusheen and also Gudetama like a lot in high school, and you know, everyone was like, you gotta get on this wave. This chibi character wave. But yeah, I think the concept of him being so pessimistic but also really cute is like it's genius.
Yeah. When we see it, we're like projecting onto him and we're like, yes, I want to be that lazy. I want to just lay down on the soft omelet bed and not do anything.
I just want to be an egg.
I just want to be an egg. If everyone was an egg, life would be simpler, just like the egg.
Yes. Eggs are so versatile.
Yes, the egg is the Swiss knife of foods and objects in general.
Yes.
It's really good at what it does in every single way.
Yes. That's a very quirky way of explaining how perfect and versatile an egg is. It is the Swiss knife of food. Love it.
By the end of this, as you can see, Gudetama is perfect. I feel like all my life there's been this huge pressure to accomplish all the things. You gotta be investing, you gotta be cooking, paying your bills, finding a home, settling down, being a boss, having kids, not having kids, hydrating, traveling, literally being perfect in every facet of your life, whether that be spiritually, mentally, physically, in your love life, in your familiar life, in your social life, all the things. And it's overwhelming and it's exhausting to be perfect and to seek out perfection. And Gudetama is that beacon of hope that's like, you've always been perfect. It's okay to be lazy. You're fine with where you are in life. Let yourself indulge in being lazy. And the extroverted introvert in me was like, yes, I have made my peace with where I am and who I am. Whether or not I am able to further develop that in baby steps or in huge feats, I am content with what I've achieved thus far. Am I still gonna work hard? Sure, but I'm not gonna actively try to pressure myself into doing something that doesn't bring me joy and happiness, because that's not my vision of perfection and like beauty in life anymore.
Right.
So
yeah, exactly, yes. And that's what we call growth.
That's growth. I'm growing. Can you believe it? Birthday.
Yes.
Aging. Growth.
Absolutely. We are growing constantly, and we really are like omniverts. Extroverted introverts.
Yes. Yo, I was searching up the term because I was like, I know that this is a correct term, but I want to see like what the actual definition is. And it's the article started off saying something to the effect of like, if you're an extroverted introvert, you already know how difficult that is to explain to your friends. And I was like, yes.
Very. But honestly, I feel like a lot of people are like that though, because like, if they weren't before the pandemic, they definitely are now.
Yeah. I feel like what is it called? COVID has, the quarantines and all that, it has really shown people what's important to them, whether that be like spending time virtually is enough for them, or they actually really do need that social interaction in person. And that brought out like, yes, I'm an extrovert in such and such ways. Yeah, I really want to pursue that, and that's what's important to me. And that's like also why that the huge like people are quitting their jobs, because they're realizing that their passions aren't with the occupations that they currently had. They're leaving to start their own dreams. Sometimes you need like some event will happen in your life where it will like shake you and like make you realize a lot of things that you didn't think before, like because you become so used to the routine of going to the job that you already have, having the paycheck come in, like you build your schedule and your life around that routine. So when it's disrupted, it's like, okay, what now? Wait, I actually like don't like my job, or like you get laid off and now you're like, okay, well, now I'm kind of forced to make the next step. Am I going to go back to a job that I don't really like, or am I going to actually try to pursue something else? Right. And I feel like, that was really profound for a lot of people, I think. Yeah. What's up, guys? I've just realized that I was not recording the footage. And this just circles it all back to embracing imperfection. I'm totally not having an internal scream sesh with myself.
No, because why waste your energy on that when,
I'm at peace.
Life is all about imperfection.
Yes. Yes.
That was a beautiful presentation. I loved learning more about Gudetama because I only had like surface level information about this character.
Yes,
So,
I know, same.
following that, I will be talking about symmetry. And though symmetry isn't an icon itself, the use of it in art to convey perfection is inherently iconic, I think.
Agreed.
This is especially true for Chinese visual art, as symmetry and balance are very prevalent. One arts and crafts practice that exhibits this is Chinese papercut, of which I'll be discussing today. Not like skin papercut, of course, but like the act of actually cutting paper into beautifully detailed, oftentimes symmetrical designs. Aside from the art, Chinese culture in general has a relationship with symmetry that I think is quite admirable. And I'm excited to get into it with you all today. And I'm just going to preface this with I am not a historian. So if at any point I misrepresent any aspects of Chinese philosophy, I apologize in advance. We do these episodes pretty quickly, and I have limited time to research with, perfect accuracy.
Perfect.
So yeah, perfect, exactly. So if you are of Chinese descent and have any corrections or extended information you want to share with us, please do not hesitate to leave a comment on YouTube or on our socials to share, or for us to share and to learn even more. But without further ado, let's discuss humanity's history with symmetry and talk a bit about why we view symmetry as a cultural icon for beauty and perfection.
I love this.
Starting with our good friend, Mother Nature. As we've talked about at the beginning of this pod, symmetry is all around us. In plants like leaves and flowers, in organisms like Crystal's favorite, the butterfly.
For those of you who don't know, I do not like butterflies, but I will say that my dislike for butterflies has dwindled a little, and I can now appreciate them from a distance, but at a distance. It has to be a photograph.
Yes, at a distance. Do not land on me.
There's gotta be glass between us. I do not want to touch that thing, but they are okay.
Yes. That's basically all relationships I have with all insects. Let's admire from afar.
Yes.
But, other than organisms as well, symmetry is also in water. As we talked about water last episode, so we're full circle over here.
Always.
Yes. Symmetry is a part of our lives physically and psychologically. We who are privileged to have both halves of a body are already favored within the laws of nature. Even when we're young, we're naturally drawn to more symmetrical shapes and faces and shapes. We grow up with this inherent bias, even if one is born with a more asymmetrical form. This reminds me of a recent TikTok trend where people were using a mirror filter to see how symmetrical their facial features were.
Yes.
And kids were literally crying over their asymmetrical faces. It was like a Black Mirror episode. I was like, this is insane.
Oh, that's really sad. Wait, I have a question. Do you have a symmetrical face?
I think that I do, and I am a person who benefits from pretty privilege. I'm willing to, admit that the way, even though I'm still, I'm African American female, I still have pretty Eurocentric features, and they're not asymmetrical, not incredibly, but I have to be aware of it because it's like I move through this world with more ease than people who, don't have those features. So
who are not as like textbook beautiful. And I think it's interesting because I am also I tried the filter because all the things were doing it, so I had to try it. I'm also symmetrical, and I was thinking about the same thing, that I'm like, pretty privilege is a thing, and I totally agree that I've had a leg up in like not being as heavily bullied as I could have been, even though like growing up, like it got better over time. Like growing up, it was bad because puberty is a thing, but in the point I am right now, like pretty privilege. Totally.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's a huge difference when you're a late bloomer. Like, you definitely see the difference that people like treat you, and like, you know, it's like you glow up and your world has changed all of a sudden.
Yes. And you're still living with being insecure, and it sucks that you can't.
It's awful.
You can't fully accept that you're pretty. It's so sad.
Right? It is sad.
I just watched a video of a cute little black girl, and she was like, "I'm ugly," and her mom had to pep talk her. She looked like she was only
yes,
6.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And she just bawled her eyes out, and it was the most heartbreaking cry ever, because I'm just I was so sad for her.
I know what you're talking about. I've seen that too, and it really resonated with me too, like being young and black, and like especially when you grow up in like a predominantly white neighborhood, it's like, man, I am like the ugliest person in this neighborhood. No. And but we grow out of it. We realize that it's just the world that we navigate through. It's nothing that's wrong with us.
We are past the Dora phase. We are past the Mowgli phase. We're just loving ourselves as we are, just no matter what, inside and out. We
and
are
others
beautiful.
as they are.
Everyone.
Yes. But yeah, that being said, symmetry in Chinese culture goes beyond what we can see. It is fundamental in all aspects of life, and it is the manifestation of their philosophies of social and inner harmony taught in Confucianism and Taoism. Though Taoism is, if I'm not mistaken, has more of a focus on the metaphysical, while Confucianism places importance on establishing the social values and institutions. There were many sides of Confucianism that have come and gone throughout history, but the overall idea of this philosophy was to take the actions of everyday life seriously and to move with compassion to hopefully achieve moral excellence and eventually a utopian society. This desire to achieve harmony translates to their use of symmetry in architecture, music, literature, and of course art. This leads us to one of the most popular folk arts in China, papercut, or xianshi. It's not even spelled at all like that, but
I love it.
I was like, I have to look it up this time so that I am respectfully saying the words correctly. And it was really fun to learn some of these words.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
I'm apparently part Chinese, and I don't even try Chinese because it is so hard to pronounce. So I'm giving you big props because I don't even attempt it because it's just so hard. Every language is hard to pronounce, even English. So like,
that's true.
I'm proud of you, bud.
Thank you. An effort was definitely made here. We understand the process of papercut to be basically the folding and cutting, then unfolding of paper to reveal intricate designs to be displayed. There are a ton of ways to achieve a papercut piece, and not all of them have to have that reflection symmetry that we're used to. Some of the most beautiful ones that I've seen exhibit rotational symmetry rather than reflection. However, it is possible to achieve both. The most common types of papercut are the one-fold rotational cut without reflection symmetry and one-fold rotational cut with reflection symmetry. A little history about the creation of this art form. It emerged during the Han Dynasty in 4th century AD, quite quickly after the Chinese official, how do I say that? I think it was Kai Lun invented paper in 105 AD. In a Culturally blog article written by Ang Wanlin, she states that long before paper was invented, there have been records of the Chinese using other thin materials such as leaves, silver or gold foil, silk, and leather to carve hollowed patterns. It was found that during the Western Zhou dynasty in 1046 to 771 BC, people had already been cutting tree leaves into various art forms and giving them out as presents, which is incredibly adorable. I love that.
Let's do that for Christmas.
Yes, oh my gosh, yes, let's do that actually. And according to her, the Chinese have long created paper cuts to depict beautiful things, worship, and express good wishes. Given what little bit we know about China's history with symmetry and harmony, it makes sense as to why such artworks with rich meaning and religious importance exhibit such divine rhythm. What do you think of these artworks, and would you be willing to try this sort of art form out?
Oh. I just jokingly said it as a Christmas gift, but I mean, these look incredibly intricate and difficult to make. And I would be so honored to receive something even 50% of this level of gorgeousness, because they are so nice looking.
Yeah, and I put these pieces into our script so that Crystal could see them, but these ones are particularly detailed. But of course there's a level of, difficulty for some. These do not have to be at all to this level of of beauty or perfection, if you will. Their kids are able to do these. It's like a nice activity. And of course, you don't have to be a master to do it, but with intense practice, you could too create a very intricate doily-like design. Yeah,
this kind of art form really, it made me think about those Mexican cutouts that you see for Day of the Dead.
Oh yes, I know. Yes, it reminded me of those too.
Those also get
the little
pretty intricate.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're called. I've done them before in Spanish class, and if you watch Coco, they use them to tell the story, the prologue of how they got into the shoe business, and they're so nice to look at. And I feel like I'd feel the same if I saw these jianshu. Was it?
Yeah, jianshu.
If I saw a jianshu in person, again, shivers in any way.
Yes.
I've always liked snowflake cutting, so I'm sure I'd love doing this kind of art form.
Oh yeah.
And I really agree with symmetry being a symbol of beauty, specifically in Asian culture. Because when you were talking about facial features and all that being symmetrical, it made me think of in Korean and I think Vietnamese cultures, they believe in fortune telling based on your physical features.
Oh,
I'm not so sure how affected it is in terms of your face being symmetrical, but there are things if you have a mole in a certain place, you have more fortune, or you're more likely to be misfortune. For instance, I think I have one on my hand, and I think I remember it saying something to do you're gonna be a really big spender, which is I felt a little called out. Wow, he really did me like that. But it also I have one on my neck, and that says that I think it said that you have a beautiful voice, and your voice will be important to you in some way. It's corresponding with where your mole's located. Oh
my gosh, and that's kind of accurate.
I know, so I was
because you do have a beautiful voice.
Superstitious. So they have things like that with the moles, and they also have if your nose is more pronounced, you're more likely to be wealthy. So that's why plastic surgery is super important to them, because they really feel their fate is based on their looks beyond just being pretty privilege.
Yeah, it's actual fortune. But oh wow, that's incredible. I didn't know that.
I'm giving you the inside scoop in the Asian community.
The inside scoop. I wonder I don't even know what the logic is with that, because if you artificially change it, does it still count?
Yes.
Because you're not born with it.
Yes,
that's so
it still
strange.
counts.
What?
That's why it's plastic surgery. And you may be asking, Crystal, why did you look into plastic surgery and all that? You go down really dark rabbit holes when you are really into K-dramas and K-pop. Because there's just no avoiding it when you just, like, they all have plastic surgery, so you go down those holes.
Yeah, makes sense. And I, for one, I am a very big YouTube user, and there are a lot of people who make like video essays about beauty standards and everything. And of course, the Korean beauty standards thing came up, but nobody has said anything about like the features being indicative of like your fortunes. So that was like, that's really good information to have.
Mom, is your mind blown?
My brain is exploded right now. But yeah, I think these were really fun to talk about today.
Yes, I had lots of fun. I wanted it to be more lighthearted, at least on my half, because I don't know, I think I was thinking really, really hard about it, and I was trying to be perfect, so I started to be like, well, even though this episode is about being perfect, I need to like still remember that this is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be, just
of course,
something that we can both enjoy and learn something while just getting a chitty chat.
Yeah, so it's just casual learning. You just share whatever findings you found. Doesn't have to be like a whole dissertation. Like, no, that is not what we do here.
Yes, we are, as Naja said, we are not historians. We are just two artsy friends. What's our saying? We're two artsy friends.
Oh my god, don't ask. We're just two artsy friends going beyond the icons just for the hell of it, it's whatever.
It's whatever, it's just what we do.
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, this was wonderful. Next month.
Oh shit.
We are in for a treat that I have no idea.
You are in for a treat. We don't even know what we've planned on the schedule.
We're in for a treat because
well, it's always a treat.
What is it?
Is fertility.
Yeah.
Yes. Can I do egg again? Who would be mad if I did?
You honestly, I would not be mad at all. That's just like another take on the egg that we could just continue to extrapolate on.
Perfection.
So feel free, and it'll be easier now. You don't have to like find something to do.
Well, like, tune in next month and find out. Will Crystal do the egg again? And then wouldn't it be funny if Naja also did the egg too?
I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. Fertility, but yeah. Till next time, we will go into that and have equally or more fun with that subject.
Yes, always the fun.
Yes.
We hope you have a great night. Hope you have an amazing day, if that's when you're listening to it as well.
Yeah, whenever you're listening.
Come back again.
Once again, if you have any information to share with us about these topics and, of course, again, Chinese culture, because I am not a historian.
Yeah.
Yeah, share any information that you'd like to share with us on our socials, YouTube, anything. Yep. Feel free to do that. And we will see you guys next time.
Bye.